Here's my question. Can you spend your whole entire life not knowing one single thing about Krishna and suddenly have him pop into your life and start talking to you? I mean, is that possible? Because I mean, quite honestly, I feel like that's what's kind of happened to me. So, welcome to our channel. My name is Shannon. This is my beautiful daughter Shae, and we are here live today. I don't know if we figured out the right link to do this right. Like we are struggling a little with the technology, but like universe wants us here, Krishna wants us here. So today we're going to be talking about that. Like, how does Krishna come into your life? How does that express in your life? We want to talk about spiritual mastery a little bit and what does that
Mhm.
mean? And how are we integrating all this amazing knowledge that we are getting from the universe these days? How is that working into our life? So, thank you so much for joining us. We're really happy to be here today. I do have something I want to read right away, Shay, unless you want to start
Please.
with anything else.
The only other thing I want to start with is I'd really love to just invite anyone from the other side. I want to call in our ancestors. I want to call in Krishna. Anybody who loves us unconditionally and who wants to be here with us. May we be divine channels for energy to flow. And thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ancestors. Thank you, universe. Thank you, Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay, so here's my story. I'm at an airport and I'm at LAX actually, and it's mad packed. And there is not one speck of room to even sit to wait for my flight. But I see this little tiny corner of a chair that's open. There's like a mom with three little kids playing. Anyway, so I say to the universe, I need a song. I need something to like just calm me down. I gotta wait for this flight. It's like chaos in here. Just send me something. And literally my phone will just suggest music or whatever. And it suggested this album. And I'd never heard of it before, but I just like put it on and it was like mantras.
Mhm.
And that's what happened. The mantras just started, and I did not know what I was singing. It was not in English, but next thing I know, I was hearing like Hare Krishna over and over. And it was like, there was this one song called Sarve Mangala. I got to look up the album and see what it is. But like, I became obsessed with this thing. Anyway, I started obsessively listening to this album that was chanting all these different mantras, like especially like the Hare Krishna mantra over and over and over. And then magically one day I'm on YouTube and YouTube just suggested the Bhagavad Gita as like something to listen to. And I saw it a couple times go by. But one day I clicked on it, and as soon as I started, and it's just like an English translation of the Gita, as soon as I started to hear it, something inside of my soul like woke up. And it was as if this like golden energy of knowledge just like entered my body, opened my soul up, and it was like, what am I hearing? What is this? And it was like Christian like showed up at that moment for me. Unbeknownst to myself, I had been calling out for him, right? And like it's like it was so unexpected feeling when he came into my ears through the vibration. And like I just want to talk about how Krishna exists in vibration. He came in through my ears, in through my body, awakened my soul, and here I am. Like, how many months later is this? That was like back in, I want to say like March or so. I
Yeah.
called you up and I was like, Shay, I just like I listened to Bhagavad Gita. What did I just hear? What was that? Wow. I think my life has changed. And it truly has. It truly has. It's changed. And so part of what we want to talk about today is that like this moment, this what seems to be super random moment that I experienced has utterly changed the entire trajectory of my life, where I'm going, who I am, who I think I am. And I just want to thank Krishna for this because, like, wow.
I
Hare
I
Krishna. High
I
five.
love this. I love this so much. We just had a listener, Devi's child said she was just thinking about or they were just thinking about this. They were praying to Krishna to give them a sign, and suddenly the Krishna song played. And like how many times that has happened to me. First
Mhm.
off, we're gonna drop the link to the album that you're talking about because I also became obsessed with listening to the album. And I always say I'm a yoga teacher too, and so I always play mantras in the back of my class. And I tell people, like, if you were to come here and just lay on the mat and just allow the energy of the songs to penetrate you, like, that would simply be enough. Because they say that Sanskrit chanting does raise your vibration just by listening to it. And so just knowing that and not even knowing what these things are that I'm saying and knowing that it's like affecting my energy is so powerful. And I want to go back to what you said in the beginning about, can you know nothing about Krishna and then suddenly he drops into your life? And I remember hearing this story about Ram, who was also um, an incarnation of the Godhead, right? And there was a story I heard about somebody on their deathbed who did knew nothing of yoga, knew nothing of spirituality, and on their deathbed happened to say Ram, and they were saved by this God, and they
Okay,
came
I
to
was
him.
just reading in the Gita about this exact thing. Okay, and I'm literally at the verse. It's in chapter 8. He who meditates on me as the supreme personality of Godhead, his mind is constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated on the path, is sure to reach me. And like earlier, I was talking about, um, like if you die, like in that moment, like if you're thinking about Krishna, you're good to go. And whosoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of that, there is no doubt. And so, like, I'm blown away by this. Like, even just this concept is
Yeah,
like, wow, what does this mean? And that's where I'm saying, like, Christian just shows up, like, pops it, like, floats into my life, like the magical being that he is. And I feel like, what is
Hare
this? You
Krishna.
know what I mean? Is this my karma from like something that happened in a different life? Kind of seems like. All I know is I'm so ridiculously grateful, and I will take all the signs from the universe. Yeah, sometimes the universe will send you a song. Hey, Debbie's child, thank you so much for showing up to this. Listen, I feel like we are all exactly where we're supposed to be. We hear who we're supposed to hear. We see who we're supposed to see. It's like the universe puts us in alignment. I just finished doing an 1111 portal for my tarot channel, which if you haven't checked out my tarot channel, you can see my channel as a featured channel here. Please check me out. And I was talking about this idea of part of the 1111 portal is getting us into alignment and like pushing us toward our dharma, like pushing us toward our life purpose, pushing us toward our soul contracts. Like, who are we supposed to be? So I feel like all of these things that have come into our life that have felt so unexpected and it wasn't
Mhm.
anything I was necessarily seeking out, I know it's here for me. I know it. I'm
It's so
100% certain of it, and part of it is because of what it makes me feel like. And
yeah.
that morning that I heard the Bhagavad Gita for the first time, it felt like I was remembering it, and it was like this, honestly, like this golden honey, like entered my skull and just like flowed down through my body, and it's like, wow. And sometimes I feel like a little bit out of my element with all of this because we're not Hindu. I don't know anything about Hinduism, and we've already kind of discussed a little bit about maybe I can like worship Krishna as my god, and I don't necessarily need to be Hindu to do so. But there's like I feel like so much around, so much surrounding that it feels so unfamiliar to me, but yet also I'm so fascinated. I must be going toward that for a reason. You know what I'm
And
saying?
yes, absolutely. And we've talked about this prior about the Wisdom of the Sages podcast, which I would totally recommend everybody listen to. I really enjoy hearing the commentary from these two, Kastuba and Raghunath, Prabhu. But anyway, they had an episode just a couple episodes back that was like Krishna doesn't care who you are, right? Krishna doesn't care if you're Indian. Krishna doesn't care if you're a white lady in America. Krishna doesn't care, who you are. Krishna loves everybody. And so we got to talking about this whole idea of like gatekeeping knowledge based on like what you look like or who you are or where you manifested in the world. And I would love to just chat about that a little bit because same, sometimes I do feel out of my element here or like who am I to like be sharing this wisdom? But then I remember, like, we are all an aspect of the God ourselves, our goddess ourselves. And why not us? Why not? Like, everybody isn't, if this is our dharma, this is what we should be doing. And that's why we feel so called to be here and to be talking about this, to be a voice for people who maybe do feel out of their element or don't feel comfortable or don't know what to do. say Krishna came into their life, but they're like, oh, but I'm not this way or I'm not that way, and so this must not be for me. No, it's for you. Like if it shows up in your life, it's for you.
Yeah, I was listening to the Wisdom of the Sages podcast, and they were telling this story. They always tell stories out of the Bhagavad Gita. And
Yep.
they were telling this story about Krishna being in this kingdom, and he gets invited to the king's house for a feast. And, imagine the spread that was laid out, in this royal feast that he was invited to. But he wasn't interested. And actually, he ends up going to the house of this woman. And as soon as she opens the door, they said she, like, becomes utterly, like, in utter complete love and devotion to Krishna. She weirdly grabs a banana and throws the banana on the floor and starts feeding him banana peels. And he's eating the banana peels. And she does it again. She grabs a second banana and throws the banana on the floor and she feeds him the banana peels. And her husband walks in the door and sees what's going on and says, "Why are you feeding him? Like, why are you feeding him banana peels? You're an amazing cook. Oh my gosh, stop feeding him banana peels." And Krishna actually stops him and says, "You have no idea how sweet that banana peel is. Leave her alone. Like, let her give me the banana." Do you know what I'm saying? And what it is, it's like that pure devotion, that love. And do feel like that at times, like just thinking about Krishna, I just like want to fall at his feet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah.
just want to like stare in his eyes, just like forever, and be like, just tell me something. Like, I just want to have him open his mouth so I can see the universe. Do you know what I mean? Like that story, that earlier story that we heard out of the Bhagavad Gita about his mom looking in his mouth to see if he like stole the butter or whatever, and opens his mouth and there's the universe. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
So I do feel like, and then later they were talking about how is Krishna back? Is Krishna returned to balance? Has Vishnu sent some aspect of themselves down to balance the universe because it's so chaotic right now? And their answer was actually yes, Krishna is here in vibration.
Yeah.
And that's why the mantras. So circling back all the way to the beginning of my story, when I started to hear the Hare Krishna mantra, it was like my soul started to wake up. And
Yeah.
that's how he appeared to me. Even if it wasn't even in my conscious of what I was even saying, all I knew is like I liked the music. It felt
Mhm.
good. And I asked the universe to send me something, and that's what I got. So I was like, okay, this feels good. I didn't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like that's just how the universe works, like to us, through us, toward us, for us.
Mhm.
And it's so beautiful. It's so, so beautiful. So, just as we try to sort of digest all this, just like reading the Gita day and night, just the different versions, just what are we listening to? What am I reading? What am I seeing? It's like, I feel like part of it is it just, I'm doing my best to figure out now that this has changed my life. What does this mean for me?
Mhm.
What does this
Mhm.
truly mean for me?
Mhm. And it really just feels like an opening up of another energy that we're able to tap into because it's like I love Krishna and Krishna has shown up for us. And at the same time, there's others who have shown up for me. And we were talking a little bit yesterday
Yeah.
about the teachers and the like divine souls in our lifetime who are here with us on earth right now who have taught us.
Yeah, so many different teachers have showed up for me at different points of my life. Can you read that comment? Like my eyes were terrible when I
Yes,
heard.
absolutely. Devi's Child tells us that the woman who was feeding the banana peels was actually Arjuna's aunt,
Okay.
um, and that Arjuna's uncle was a scholar in scripture, but his devotion didn't have the same sweetness of his wife's devotion,
See, that's why we need y'all out there
who
in
was
the internet.
just an ordinary woman, and that I mean, that just
Okay,
comes
see,
back
that
to it,
makes so
like
much sense.
and, like, I feel sometimes just like an ordinary like I was saying, like an ordinary person. Who am I to share this?
Yeah,
But no, my devotion is strong, and my
yeah,
will to, like, share this with others and to remind people of their divine nature is strong, so why not us, you know? Might look like we're handing out banana peels, right? But
yeah, right.
what we're really is, like, giving somebody the sweet nectar of divine knowledge, just being able to talk about it, and not only talk about it, but embody it in your life. I've been thinking about that a lot recently about how am I digesting this is really just how I am continuing to live in my life and interact in relationship with all things, right? If we can just remember the divine nature of everything and move in a way and model that for others. People know, I mean, we all know people who, like, move through life, like, divinely, and you're like, "Well, what do they got?" Or, like, "What are they doing?" Like, that's how I aim to live my life so that people can I I want that energy to permeate out. I want people to ask me what this is that I have, and I want to share with them that
Yeah,
this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm reading, this is how I'm devoting my life, and this is how, and really it's like when you think about the Gita, he's talking a lot about dharma and like what's your purpose. And so I think that the Gita was gifted to us at a time when we were like, okay, well, what are we doing? Like, what is our message here? We knew that we were feeling called to like show up online, to begin like teaching others. Um, and then we were gifted this beautiful text that was talking to us about dharma. And so everybody's dharma will look different, but like I was saying, I think how I'm best digesting this is really just trying to act in a way that's in alignment with what it is I'm reading, and just doing the best that I can, and giving myself grace in moments when maybe I'm not in alignment with what it is I'm reading. But that too, we're just human. So remembering that it's just a human emotion, and that every second is a chance to become in alignment once more. Um, yeah, now
for
I'm off
sure.
on a tangent, but yeah,
I want to even back our story up a little bit farther before, because you
sure.
started reading the Gita when you went to yoga teacher training a
Yep.
few years back.
Hmm.
And we, before we even found the Gita, before Krishna even like showed up, we were definitely transforming.
Yeah.
We were absolutely going through like this spiritual awakening where suddenly we were like aware of so much more. It
Mhm.
was wild feeling, to be honest. Like suddenly, like all the synchronicities, all the things that were happening. It was like the universe just kept showing us things after thing after thing and like bringing people, places into our life. Okay, so one day Shay and I went out and we decided we wanted to find some aspect of the divine feminine. We wanted to find something to represent. We wanted to like build a little altar. It just felt like the right thing to do, to build an altar. So we just got in the car, and our intent actually was to go to the local thrift store because we always manifest objects at the thrift store. Okay. So on the way to the thrift store, we're just driving along, and suddenly I took a left. How about it, Shay? I
Mhm.
literally, something was like, and I took a left, and like we found ourselves sitting in this antique store parking lot. It was just a very rundown, crazy looking antique store. And so
Nobody
we're
else
like,
was there,
okay,
by the way. No other car was there.
no other cars were in there. Okay. And like, and plus slash, it's been closed ever since. But okay, we'll get back to that. Okay. So Shay and I were like, okay, this is crazy. We go into this antique store and we see that it is full of all these like Asian, I don't know, collectibles, I'll say,
Yep. Yep.
and just like extraordinary. And the owner of the shop comes over and he tells us that he just had an estate sale that he bought out, and that's where all the stuff's coming from. And we start to wander around, and I come up to this statue and I see it, and I'm like utterly like, wow, I think that might be it. In my mind, I was supposed to I like had a certain amount of money I was going to spend on this in my mind a little bit. And I was like, I don't know what it was, but when I looked at the statue, the price on the statue, it was like significantly more than I was planning on spending. Okay. So I looked at her and I just was like kind of wandered around the store a little bit, and I knew I couldn't live without her. So I go back and I pick up the statue and we go, we were going to leave and we had picked up a couple items around, we go to pay, and like you do in an antique store, sometimes they'll do some like haggling with you, or they'll be like, okay, I'll take, this for this much or this for that. And when I got to the statue, which I didn't even know who it was yet, when I got to her, he said he actually offered to take some off. And I, for whatever reason, was like real offended by it. And I was like, absolutely not. In fact, I'm going to pay you more. She's worth way more than this. And I actually paid him over what the sticker was, which was kind of nuts because I wasn't even planning on paying that. I paid him over that. And I took her home and I built an altar around her, and I looked up who it was, and I found out that it was Shakti. It was Shakti. And I'm like, okay, well, who's Shakti? And like it turns out like Shakti is like this whole divine feminine thing that we started to like feel. So I do feel like, even though later sort of digging into it, I don't think Shakti and Krishna are on the same pantheon necessarily, if that's even a correct word for Hinduism. I don't think it necessarily is, but It was like that. It was the feeling. How about it, Shae? It
Yeah.
was the feeling.
I
And once I
have
started meditating and actually like focusing on that aspect, that divine feminine within me, that's actually sort of what led us to even be later where I'm saying to the universe, "Hey, send me a song."
yeah.
Because it's like
Yeah.
Shakti prepared me. Shakti was preparing me, and I got real obsessed with opening my third eye. I was doing all these third eye opening exercises, and by the way, once you open your third eye, yeah, that's wild. It's utterly wild. Like I felt like the eye of Sauron opened. It was crazy,
Mhm.
a little bit on me, but like I feel like again that story just tells me that the universe has been like leading me gently, just like lovingly along this path where I know that I'm supposed to be. Okay, so now that we're here, we're like swimming through all this amazing knowledge and like everything that we're learning and seeing. Part of this reason we're even doing this podcast is to help us figure out now what.
Okay, well, I want to go back a little bit because I want to tell my side of the antique shop story. So
Yeah.
I remember finding Shakti and both of us being like, okay, well, who's gonna get her? Okay, we're both here and we both love her, whatever. And you're my mother, so I'm like, you get her, right? And then we continue walking throughout the store, and we made laps around this place like several times. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
about
There's
like
so
our
much. It was
second.
amazing stuff
It
in
was
there.
amazing.
Incredible things in there.
Lord Shiva's the other side is
Okay.
Shakti
Yes.
Parvati.
Yes.
Yes, they're each other's consort. Thank you, Debbie's child. So it's like our third lap through, okay? And suddenly, I find this figurine who is painted beautifully. So the Shakti that you have is like carved out of wood and is absolutely stunning. And I find this figurine that's like painted, and I was like, oh, well, this one is calling to me. And it was a woman, and it was somebody who was holding a pot of what looked like honey. Um, and I was like, well, this is mine. You have yours. We didn't know the names of either of them yet, but I'm like, that is your divine feminine, and look at this beautiful one. Krishna's other side is Radha. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
We've
Okay.
been
Because you
learning this,
chant
and
that, and
we've
that
been
makes sense.
watching.
Because that's in the music where they say Radha Krishna. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, and so I find this figurine, and I'm like, yes, this is going to be my representation of the divine feminine. So I have this figurine for months and months, maybe even a year before I go to yoga teacher training. So I go to yoga teacher training, right? And I have this figurine who has been on my altar. I've been offering things to, always surrounding it with beauty for the same reason, just like in devotion to the divine feminine through this
Right. Right.
figurine. I go to yoga teacher training, and I had this teacher who we were about to go into ceremony, and she was like, "Hey, would you like to step outside with me and just do some clearing? I'm going to use a sage stick, and we'll just call in your ancestors and any of your spirit guides." And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So we step outside, and she was like, "Oh, you should look into working with Guan Yin." And I was like, "Oh, I've never heard of Guan Yin. Who is that?" Telling me it's like she is a Chinese goddess, all these things. So we go inside, we have our ceremony. And after the ceremony, the teacher comes back up to me. Like, this is like maybe an hour after the ceremony, and was like, "Oh my goodness, you'll never guess. Like, I'm in this WhatsApp group with all these spiritualists, and there was a woman named Shay, spelled the same way as me, who was talking about, hey, Guan Yin just came into my awareness. Does anybody know anything about Guan Yin? Who is this? Yada yada." So I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. Okay, confirmation that I need to be like aware of who this person is. So then I go home. I'm looking and I'm at my altar, praying at my altar. And I'm like, this is fucking Guan Yin. This is Guan Yin. I look up a picture of Guan Yin, which I hadn't done yet. And there she is. And I had been worshiping Guan Yin, well, not work, but in devotion to Guan Yin as this aspect of the divine feminine
Yeah.
for a year. For a year, not even knowing her name, and I couldn't believe it. It
Yeah,
just
you
like
just like
goes
the
with.
aesthetic of her, we just like the feeling of her,
Yeah,
and at
and she
that
always.
same thing, I also had bought a little figurine of Guan Yin that I had in my kitchen for the same long time, then once you found out that was Guan Yin, I was like, "Guan Yin?"
Yes,
And so the
and
story gets even cooler, actually. So,
totally.
like, it's wild. So now we've got Guan Yin, who's the Chinese goddess of, compassion, basically, this
Yep.
Chinese goddess. We've got Shakti, Right. So I started going down this path where I was really looking for a teacher. And they say, when the students prepare, the teacher will appear or whatever it is, right? And again, YouTube, it's super weird how the universe works. And YouTube would never have been like my thought of how I'm going to upgrade myself. But like, turns out, yeah. So, like, I'm on YouTube and I see a video, and the name of the video is, "Are you waking up at 2 a.m.?" And I was like, ugh, yes, because I had been. And it's like the universe had been waking me up at 2 to 3 a.m. for like weeks. Like, randomly, I'm wide awake. It's like 2 a.m. I'm like, what is happening? Okay. So I see this video. Are you waking up at 2 to 3 a.m.? And I was like, yeah, weird. Click on it. And it follows basically this video of this person, this spiritual teacher named Master Sri Akarshana. So I start following Master Sri Akarshana, and he ends up having this event that I go to, and I go deep into this spiritual journey with him. And it turns out Master Sri Akarshana, who's the real deal, and we're gonna like link some videos of him in this too. He's a Himalayan yogi from India, named Siddha. What's his name? It's Grandmaster Akshar, and so we're gonna
Yeah.
actually put his YouTube channel down too. So it's kind of wild that we found this Chinese goddess and this Hindu goddess, and then I end up following a teacher who's Chinese who follows um, an Indian man. So it's like, that's wild. How does everything like match? That's utterly crazy. And so part of the teachings of my master, Master Sri Akashana, have been about really like self mastery. That's really what he's teaching. It's very sort of non-denominational, if that's the right
Yeah.
word.
Yeah.
He doesn't and actually what Grandmaster says is like we're just energy, basically. And all of the deep teachings that we've been going through with them have been really helping guide us. Because sometimes,
And
we'll hear a
preparing
little
the
bit, especially in
vessel.
the Bhagavatam, there's like, I don't know, like 60 or 70 pages in. And there's a lot of, we've said this before, like gatekeeping in the sense of like, hey, don't read this without a spiritual master. You might want to have a master. And like all the books have commentary. So like we're reading the verse and the commentary. I definitely do have a spiritual master that I'm following. I'm not necessarily asking him about like particular what I'm reading in the Gita as much, but for sure I'm following my intuition. I'm following the flow that he's offering. And since I've been following him and following his teachings, I've been mad, crazy happy. So like I don't
Yeah.
know, like it feels like it's working. Like, do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm not gonna mess with it because everything he's saying is feeding my soul. I'm following what his teachings are telling me to do, and I'm walking around like some magical maniac. It is wild. And
Yeah.
I love it. And I like literally have been in a good mood for 2 years.
Yeah. And it's just wild, like, a lot of his teachings and what I have to a big portion of what I've taken from his teachings is, like, your vessel needs to be prepared, you need to be a healthy human to be able to digest the information that's coming through and then to be able to manifest what it is that you're wanting or desiring, like, your body has to be prepared for that, and so a lot of the work that we've done with him is, like, doing just that, clearing the energy and
Yes.
then opening up the energy to being able to even receive in the first place, which also goes hand in hand with Abraham Hicks's teachings of you have to get into the receptive mode. You have to be able to receive, or else you're not going to have whatever it is that, or you're not going to get whatever it is you want. If you, I just heard something the other day, like if you're somebody who's like, I want more money, then the other side is immediately starting to line that up for you. But if you are in the mode of I need money, but I don't have enough right now, I need money, but I don't have enough right now, you're never going to get it. You're never going to get it if you keep coming back to that, but I don't have it right now. And so, like, just being able to prepare your vessel and your mind. Um, he does this amazing, like, cognitive reframe of all the situations that have happened in your life that have deeply impacted you. And I can't even tell you how just helpful that is to be. You have to get to a certain state. And I think that's what some of these books mean when it's like you need a spiritual master because you should be vibrating, and in my opinion, like you're not going to even receive the information unless you're already vibrating at a certain state. I mean, if you look at us, we had all these
Yeah.
series of events happen to us before we were even gifted this knowledge. And for me personally, like I held on to the Gita for a year and a half before I could even read it. I tried to read it myself like multiple times and it was just like so overwhelming for me. And then when I finally did read it, I remember telling everybody, like, "Oh my goodness, you need to read this. Like, go read this. Everybody read this." But still, myself, I had read it, but I wasn't able to really talk about it. And then so when we started reading it together, it was like a whole nother energy opened up to me of like, yes, actually, I can teach this and I can talk about this. Like, it was a whole nother level of understanding. So yeah, preparing
Yeah.
your vessel and your mind and your body and aligning your energies is so important if you're going to be able to even open up to be able to receive this divine knowledge. And I think that's what our stories are kind of showing here. And we have so many things like that that have happened. You know, Ganesh showed up for us. Buddha, I have a beautiful Buddha who showed up, and that was like a spiritual experience when I received that. So many things, so many
Yeah,
things.
right. And like, can we even talk about the yoga, the actual physical yoga that we're doing? And Master Sri Akarshana always explains to us that the reason that we're doing yoga is for spiritual awakening. It's
Mhm.
not like to exercise and stretch. I mean, yeah, you get stronger, but like the whole thing is because to have the strong vessel so that you have the literal capacity for your vessel to hold whatever the universe has for you. So
Mhm.
if the universe has like a particular life purpose or something is trying to get you to do and wants you to do something you've agreed to do, your soul is signed up for, like your body has to have the capacity to do it, to actually perform it. And I'll just say, when I started the very first time I did yoga, I don't know, it was probably 4 or 5 years ago. I just remember being in yoga class and we were doing like forward fold, which you literally just like bend over. Okay. And I was sweating and I was like, why is this hard? Like, why can't I just bend over this? And my legs were shaking and everything. And I was like, oh, wow. And right now, like where I've gotten on yoga, it's so much farther than I ever thought I could possibly be at. Like we're standing on our head. We're doing things that like I personally, I'm 53. Like I took up yoga at 50. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
but I can do it. I can do it just as much as I could have done it in my 20s for sure. And part of it is because I've been willing to strengthen the capacity of my body and my mind. Everything's connected.
Yeah.
So it's almost as if because I've been willing to break through this barrier that I had that said, I can't do any of that. Like I'm too old for that, basically. Yeah, I'm not too old. Turns out I'm not too old. And yeah, I'm not too old. I can keep going. And if I can get my body to do something and accept like some action I didn't think my body could do, what can my brain pull off? Like
Right.
it's incredible the spiritual wisdom that I've gotten since I've started yoga, since I've started actually trying to strengthen the capacity of my physical body. That's one of the main things that I've taken from my spiritual master is that like strengthen your body. Everything is connected.
Yeah.
It's like the inner and the outer are the same. The outer is reflecting what is inside of you. So that's why this feels like gold. It feels like
Yeah.
gold. It feels like beautiful honey from heaven. It's like manna. It's like, tell me more, Krishna. That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm feeding him the banana peels. I'm just like, ah. And I don't even notice because like I just want to stare into his eyes forever.
Yeah.
Just ride in the back of the chariot and just like, you find yourself in a car and you're just like looking out the window. It's like that. Or I'm just like looking out the window and Arjuna and Krishna are chatting and I'm just like listening, just like in pure and complete and total bliss.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but I feel like I couldn't get there if I wasn't prepared. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Almost like
Yeah.
why do we do yoga? So that we can sit.
Yeah.
So we can
Yeah.
sit still.
Yeah. It's quite crazy because then once you open yourself to these possibilities, like there's been multiple times in my life since opening myself up and since awakening where I've had conversations with maybe even strangers where I was like, that was Krishna. Like that message that I just received, that was Krishna. Or, that message I just received
Yeah.
was that was my spirit guide who was talking right through that person. Or, oh, that was the divine feminine who just showed up to give me a message. And like I think also the kind of calming, removing unnecessary thought, making space for
Yeah.
spirituality.
Totally.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Completely. And I think that's like when I even started out reading, like, focus your mind on me. Like Krishna is like, focus your mind on me, focus your mind on me. That has been so ridiculously helpful to me because life
Mhm.
is hard and chaotic. You'll be going along and something's happening and you're like, oh, I should worry about this. And then Krishna's like, no. And you're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, never mind. What'd you
Yeah.
say? You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
what was that, Krishna? And it's like I have been able to like let go of so much of that that doesn't even matter
Yeah.
because of like wanting the spiritual, the higher knowledge to come in. I want to make room for it. I want my space to be available for it, my physical body, my brain, all of that. So for sure, it's so important to be able to like cleanse your physical body, your space, to be able to bring the higher knowledge in. And I'm so grateful to be to find teachers. And like you said, you never know. And I for sure, okay, so like I've been driving to work the same way for 10 years. And on one corner, I don't know, it's probably like, I don't know, 7 or 8 months ago. It's been since Krishna because since Krishna showed up. A homeless person has been showing up on my one corner, like asking for money. I don't know how you all feel about that, but if I have cash, I will give people money if they're asking. I just do. A lot of times I don't have cash, and that's the whole thing. Anyway, I pull up to the same corner that I go by every single day, and I said to Krishna, "Look, if you want me to give the cash, please put the person on the corner when I have cash, and then if I
Mhm.
have it, they can have it." So basically, I made this deal with Krishna. If I have cash and I get to this corner, if somebody's asking, I'm going to give every time. It doesn't matter how much, I'm going to give everything in my purse. Okay. So, sometimes person's there, sometimes not. Well, this one particular day, I'm driving to work and I'm feeling amazing. And I'm just like singing and I'm just feeling it, right? And I'm like, Christian, let me give some money today. I want to give you, I want to give money today. Like, I'm feeling it. And I pull up to this corner and there's a man there that I've never seen before because it's usually the same couple people. And this guy, and he's got like this, I can't even describe him. He has this face that's like absolute like happiness. And because I pull up and I look like a maniac, my windows down, and I'm like jamming to this music, and I'm like so excited because I'm like, oh my God, like Krishna sent me somebody. And I have like a 20. So I'm like feeling really good about it. And we pull up to each other and it's like our eyes meet and I give it to him and I'm like sending him love and light. And he was like sending it back to me. And I don't know how to explain that interaction that I had with this random person, except for that was Krishna. I swear to God, I looked in his
Yeah.
eye. I swear it was him. I swear it was it. It felt like him. Do you know what I mean? And that's like, I gave him the money and like the light turned and I like drove off. It was like, ah, it was like a gift. It was like this little gift that seems really dumb in so many ways, but like it made my day. It made my week. I'm still talking about it. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? So I know that we have these opportunities to express all of this. We started talking way at the beginning, like, what does this mean for my life? Like, what is this? Like, what do I do with this? That's one of the things I do is I just try to open up and be a channel and open myself up to the higher knowledge and try to be the best possible vessel I can.
Yep.
And if there's one other person on earth that I can help, even if it's just like one person, I'll take it. I'll take it. Maybe that person and I have a special contract together that we have decided we want to, maybe I spent a whole entire lifetime and I only help one person. Worth it.
Worth it.
Worth it.
Absolutely, 100%. And that's where I have to remind myself sometimes to, like, to lose my material mind. There's so much.
Yeah.
It's like coming onto YouTube, like, oh, well, how many views can I get, or how many likes can I get? And like, it's really not about that. It's
No.
about really, and like how we started was, we want to connect, and we want other people to hear what we're saying, so that hopefully we can touch somebody else. I was just thinking, could that be Krishna?
Oh,
I
I
heard Krishna
know.
likes to play pranks
Yes,
with his
yes, that's what he
friends.
felt like. That's yes. And I love that part of Krishna so, so much. And I think we've talked before about like the little Krishna cartoons. Oh my God, I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with these like baby Krishna cartoons. And that's one of the things I love about Krishna is like playing the pranks. It did feel like that. Like this guy, this man, he like looked like a prankster. I can't even describe it. And it was like funny and fun. And I love that so much because
And
this
I
is like
think
so much more like human to me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why some other, like, I don't know, priests or whatever, they feel like, it feels unattainable sometimes.
Right.
But, like, when I can have an interaction like that, that feels so amazing, and I feel like, "Oh my god, Krishna just came and, like, popped down into this random person just to give me some joy." Ah,
Yes,
what?
and Lord of Nation says, as you keep diving more into bhakti, Krishna will definitely give you more experiences where you indeed
Ugh,
feel his presence, and it's so
it's my
true.
favorite. It's
And
literally my favorite.
I have just this wild story that I'm not gonna go into the whole thing because I could talk for a while about this, but I had this experience. So I went to yoga teacher training. I met this woman. We lost contact after my teacher training, and then we reconnected. And I was invited to come start this yoga studio with her. It ended up just not working out. Long story short, right? And it felt like a dark moment in my life, and then I remember meeting her in yoga teacher training and just being like, this is a divine aspect of Krishna who was sent to me to like. She taught me so much of what I knew, and she, to me, in those moments, like embodied that, right? And then to have another moment in my life with her where she wasn't embodying that, like, that was so Krishna, and, like, that wasn't a prank, right? It wasn't a prank, but it was, like, such a teaching moment
Yeah.
for me, and it almost like a prank, where she showed up and was like, "Whoop." It actually isn't the way that you thought it was, and even those moments, and I think that's what Krishna teaches us the most, is, like, everything is for us, and, like, if you just, like, tune your dial into seeing everything as a divine moment, then everything is that. Then everything is that. Even the things that feel dark or feel scary, that was only for me to help me propel me forward, and if that would have never
Mm.
happened and if that didn't work out, then I wouldn't be in this space that I am right now today. And as hard as it was, like, in those moments to get through that, it was divine. It was all divinely guided, right? And that was Krishna too. And that was Krishna too.
Yeah, I'm just, like, so grateful to the universe, to Krishna for showing up for me like this, and like I very at the beginning started saying, where I feel like I didn't really do anything. I don't want to say to deserve it or to, like, bring him into my life, but, like, wow, what a beautiful, amazing surprise he
Mhm.
is. And,
Mhm.
I can't get enough of, thinking about him and reading about him, and whenever I do, like I was saying, it's almost like I'm just riding in the back of the chariot and just,
Mhm.
like, listening to him and Arjuna talk. I'm like, "What? Wait, what? Wait, what?" Over and over. I keep doing that. I'm like, "What?" I'll read something else and I'll be like, "Wow, that's deep." I'll think about it, read something else. "What?" And so, like, I know one of the comments we had a while back was, like, about just, like, sitting, like, reading something, sitting with it, maybe not even trying to read the commentary, just sitting with it. What does this mean to me? I've been doing that so much,
Yeah.
and just trying to really figure it out. Like, like we were saying earlier, like, what does this mean? The fruit of my actions. Wait a second. I think I'm starting to get it. I think I'm starting to see what he means by that. And that's what I was
Yeah.
saying about my life is becoming super ridiculously magical right now, because
Yeah.
I'm starting to understand the concept. And I know I'm not there yet, but I'm starting to really understand what is meant by, like, do it for Krishna, like, do it for Vishnu, like, do it for the universe, instead
Yeah.
of doing it because you want to get something.
Yeah.
Because truly, when you let go of the sort of the material nature of your life and you go for what, that vibration of the universe, it's like all the things that you're supposed to get, you're going to get. Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
everything that's supposed to happen will happen.
Yeah.
So all I really actually need to do is trust and surrender. I don't even need to do anything else really.
Yeah.
Trust and surrender, and follow sort of like,
I usually don't consider Krishna as God. Most of the time, I see him as my. Oh, I gotta pull it back up. Most of the time, I see him as my elder brother with whom I keep fighting.
yes,
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. When it's like suddenly, like, the vibration of Krishna is so different, because
Yeah.
Krishna will teach me something from my brother.
Yeah.
Krishna will have a mirror show up in my life where I have to look at myself and be like, I do not like that. Yuck. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And it's like, that's so amazing. I'm like utterly fascinated by like what is this even?
Yep.
So I'm so grateful for the people that have been willing to talk to us about this because
Oh, so much. It's been
so
so helpful.
grateful. We have to go to the internet for it. There's nowhere around us that we can go really talk to anybody about any of this. I think there's probably we got to go to New York City to the Bhakti Center or something. I don't know.
Yep.
But I just want to thank every single comment that we've had, every single like, every single moment that you've spent with us. I'm grateful because we've learned so much, even just reading the comments in our
Yeah.
videos.
Yep.
Truly, just the very little bit of interactions. I know we said we were going to set up a Facebook, and we actually are. We're going to do it today,
Alright.
and we are going to do it today. Yeah, yeah, right. And we'll make like a community post about it or something. We'll for sure put the link in, but we want to keep having this conversation with everybody. So thank you so much for showing me so many different ways of how Krishna can manifest into my life. So thank you, Shay, for
Absolutely.
this amazing conversation. Yeah, let's do this more often. Like, we definitely want to. We want to do it weekly. We were hoping to just start going live all the time because to me, like, we never even edit the videos that we tape
Post
anyway.
anyway.
So
Yeah.
we definitely
And
would.
like this is what we want. This is why we started this is we wanted
Yeah.
to start a community where we can learn from one another, right? And we can see different perspectives of how people are carrying this devotion in their life. And like you said, we learned so incredibly much from others. And so I hope for this just to be a space where we could come in community and really just live out our dharma, like Krishna was is explaining in the Gita. That's what I hope, and I want to be able to support others, and I hope that others are able to support me in that mission as well. So yes, let's do this more often. We're talking about Saturday mornings, Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, we're in the
So,
US, so like Eastern time, Saturday morning
which
is
would
what we're
be
really hoping to do. I know it's Friday right now, but
yeah, we both had off work today, so that worked out nicely for us. But I think Saturday mornings will be the time that we do this. You can love Krishna as your son, brother, friend, lover, husband, etc. He will reciprocate accordingly.
I feel that.
Absolutely,
I
and I
do feel
remember,
that. I literally like want to lay in his arms and just
yes,
stare into his eyes. Do you know what I'm
and
saying?
like,
Yeah, Washington D.C., New York City. We're
yeah,
actually a couple hours from New York City is where we live.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm down for that. I'm down for hanging out with Krishna in any form. I will take it.
Absolutely, absolutely, 100%. And just beyond that too, I mean, we're healers in nature, and in our divine plan is really to be able to spread our light as far as we can. And so there'll
Yeah.
be workshops to come, there'll be classes to come that might not be Krishna himself, but it is Krishna, right?
Aren't we
So
all?
we might not, he might not be our topic of conversation, but everything that is coming through us, like I always pray to just be a divine vessel for energy to flow, and I know that that's Krishna who's allowing me to guide this energy through. And so it's my hope. I know it's your hope too that that's what we can do for the community is just teach each other, you know, tools and ways that we can implement devotion into our life and really build our vessels and build our minds so that we're able to hold this capacity to live out our dharma in its fullest potential. I just want that for everybody all over the world, you know. There is one thing he doesn't like. Do we
We
to-
were we were talking last week about how he does not like pride. He doesn't like pride. And like he will definitely like rip something out from under you if you become prideful. So but I would love to. He doesn't like pride. Yes, you just said that. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah. And
absolutely.
that's like, you know what? Sometimes you do like that's a thing that you have to pay attention to for sure. Because then
Yeah.
you're like, I'm special. Right?
Well, and you know
Like I
something?
did this.
The whole situation that
Yeah.
happened to me with the starting the yoga studio in this new
Oh
town
yeah.
and going there, like, there was something about that wasn't that was ripped out from underneath me, like, pretty quickly, and so I did a lot
Yeah.
of reflection on why that was, and I don't know if that was quite pride. I didn't feel like that in the moment, but who knows, you know? I continue to reflect about that, but also
Yeah.
I try not to be caught up in the past and like let's live into
Everything is
it.
for you. Everything that
Everything.
shows up for us is
Everything
for sure.
every single thing, every single thing. So let's remind each other of that. Let's be in
Yeah.
community and remind each other of that. And I think that's what's so special about creating like a like-minded community is that you're able to then, hey, put this other person in check. Hey, check your pride or check whatever it is, and remind each other of these like founding principles. That's what I love about the Gita so much is that you can just reread it and get something new from each line every single time, and it's just like just a reminder. It's like reminders that we all need as we live in this human material world. Inevitably we're going to come across some things that we don't know how to navigate, but if you can go back to this divine knowledge and remember, and stay present and surround yourself with people who are doing the same, it's just so important. And that's why we created this channel, is to create a community where we have that, where we can come here, we can speak freely, we can remind each other of these beautiful things, and like I said before, really live out our dharma in its fullest potential.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, let's wrap this up, my dear.
Yeah,
And
this was
just
a
love and
treat.
light to everybody out there.
Oh, can
Um,
you read that verse, Mom? It's chapter 9, verse 26. Let's read
for
it.
sure. For sure. For sure. For sure.
And this is the type of thing. This is why we want to go live. For some reason, this verse is being gifted to us all. Like, let's read it. Let's absorb it.
Oh, I love this already. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. Beautiful. Thank you for that. I love that.
Let this podcast be an offering to Krishna.
Yeah, for sure. Let this be an offering for Krishna. Yeah,
Thank you
for
all so
sure.
much who have shown up today and who have commented back to us. Like we said, it's just so helpful. It makes me so happy, and it really confirms to me that that we are supposed to be doing this. I know we are, anyhow, but it's just so nice to see it like come to fruition. To know that we are touching other people, and you are all touching us so deeply too. So just thank you so much for being here with us.
All right. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. Hare Krishna.